What is up, y'all? My name is Brandon. Let's talk about some books. I do want to preface this by saying I have been off of Instagram lately. The past week, I have been posting a lot more on Substack and Fable, and updating my Fable and keeping everything kind of organized on there. And yeah, it's been good. I think Instagram just pulls my attention a little bit too much, and I really want it to stay with the things that are important to me. So, still want to keep up with doing this on YouTube and, like I said, Substack and Fable. So, if you would like to see or read any of my writing, please make sure to follow me on Substack. It's just at Shelfseeker on Substack, and then Fables is at shelf.seeker. So, definitely make sure to go over there and follow me if you don't already. But let me get into this. I want to talk about what I'm going to be reading leading up to the new year, and then the first kind of little bit of books that I'm going to read into the new year, 2026. So the first one I have is one that I started last night, actually, and I know Matt from Colossum Books started this recently, probably longer than I think, because we've both kind of been busy lately. But Mason and Dixon by Thomas Pynchon. This was for a group read actually on Instagram, but I didn't want to give it up because I was really excited to read this about Jeremiah Dixon and Charles Mason's travails in the New World in the kind of 1700s. And so far, I mean, I've tabbed a little bit so far. I read about 30 pages last night, and I mean, the writing is surprisingly easy for Pynchon. I feel like I was looking at the wiki for Mason and Dixon a little bit, but as far as like Pynchon goes, like, he is difficult, yes, but I don't know. I found myself like thinking it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, at least the first 30 pages. I was expecting to kind of just be thrown into the deep end and kind of lost, and I wasn't. I kind of knew what was happening, where this reverend is telling his these kids a story of the Mason and Dixon's interactions, and when they first start to set off on their journey sailing across to America, and their discoveries. Again, 30 pages in, I don't really know what's coming up. I mean, I think Pynchon is a genius. I think the way that he can throw in references and bring the reader to a point where they appreciate such minute things in the book is truly incredible. And it's unlike anything that I've read before. But let me read. I do want to read one little section of this because I just felt like it was so amazing. This is page 27 of this edition that I have. He says, "Oh dear," Mason clutching his head. "Suppose we sail upon some other day, then?" "Mason, pray you, 'tis the age of reason," Dixon reminds him. "We're men of science. To us must all days run alike, the same number of identical seconds, each proceeding in but one direction, irreclaimable. If we would have omens, why, let us recall that the astronomer's symbol for Friday is also that of the planet Venus herself. A good enough omen, surely." Yeah, I don't know. I think that Pynchon's ability to write in such different styles, depending on what he's going for, compared to like Gravity's Rainbow, or even The Crying of Lot 49, where he is not trying to do anything crazy but tell the story of these mail carriers. I think is just unlike anything that we have, and I look forward and am honored to be able to read so many of his books that I have on the shelf for the first time. So that is my first one that I just started last night, but that is one that I am very excited to continue and to bring with me into 2026. The next book I want to talk about is a book that is long overdue for me, and one that I've heard nothing but good things about. That is Septology by Jan Fosse. A book that has little to no punctuation, no quotation marks. There's literally just commas in here. But from my understanding, it's a book that recognizes the power of the divine aspect of our lives and brings us to this transcendence of the human condition. And I haven't read anything by Fosse yet, and I feel like this just needs to be the first thing I read by him. I don't want to kind of ease myself into it. I just want to read this, and I think it's pointless to try to say, oh, what should the first thing I read from this author be? If you have a book that you want to read, then just go for it. Like, what's the point in waiting? Just go for whatever it is that you want to read. So that's up there, and probably 2026 for sure. I don't think that I'm going to start this before the new year, but it's going to sit on my side table, ready to go in 2026. So, all right, next up is a short story collection from Anxiety Press that was sent to me by Ben Rayleigh from Instagram, actually. Just before I took my break, I posted that I wanted to read this by him, and he offered to send me a copy of it. Mediac by Benjamin Ray Ellie. It is a group of a collection of short stories that, Jack Moody writes with Anxiety Press, and I've read Miracle Boy by him, and it was amazing. I do also need to read Aidan Scott's The Garden, but I'm looking forward to this as a short story collection because I just finished Sylvia Plath's short story collection, so I definitely need another one to take that spot on my reading schedule. So I'm excited for this. I think the cover's super cool, and some of the blurbs on the cover of this are pretty intriguing. Dave Fitzgerald he wrote Troll, which I've also heard very good things about. Has one on the back of this, but Mediac by Benjamin Ray Ellie. Ali, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be both disturbing in some way and also intriguing and captivating and engaging. How willing he was to offer to send me a copy, so I appreciate that. All right, next up I got a book from NYRB that I've heard literally nothing but good things, especially with it being in 830-ish pages. That is pretty impressive, I think, that people are willing to give it that long, and it doesn't seem to be that complicated or that complex, but it still has that draw of something that's kind of beyond what we can experience as human beings in our everyday lives. That is Effingers by Gabrielle Tergit. Tergit, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. But my understanding of this is it's a saga of, an epic saga of generations of Jewish people living in Germany and living through World War I and World War II, throughout all of the struggles that they have to face. It says it's a meditation on identity and nationality that establishes this author, Tergit, as one of the most significant writers of the 20th century. And I know that NYRB usually focuses on a lot of books that have either been forgotten or really just like not appreciated through the time that they were released until now. And I've not heard anything bad about this, honestly. Everybody that I've heard that has read this has loved it and said that it's one of their favorite books that they've read, at least this year. So definitely looking forward to that. That'll be another one for sure 2026, but definitely up there on my very highly anticipated list. All right, next up I have a book that I want to read because of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, actually. I really want to read 100 Years of Solitude. I don't know how I haven't read that yet, but I haven't. But I do want to read a book that inspired Marquez, Pedro Paramo by Juan Rulfo. As far as I know, this is in some way a ghost story, and I know that this is quite short, and I've heard that it's amazing. I mean, one of the blurbs say that Marquez read this 3 times, or twice in the same night, like as he was inspired by it. He just read it back to back in one night, which I think is amazing. That just goes to show that how influential this is, and it makes me want to read it even more. So yeah, not to mention the foreword is by Marquez as well. So this is one that Borges has a blurb on the back. Carlos Fuentes has a blurb on the back, and yeah, I mean, Jose Donoso was inspired by it. Mario Vargas Llosa was inspired by it. So I think this has got to be on a must-read list for anybody in the context of Latin American literature, but also just literature for anybody who's serious about reading. So definitely excited for this one. This is going to be one that I read sooner rather than later. All right, my next one is a debut novel from Igana Jabarova, which is translated from Russian, I believe. Yes, by Lisa C. Hayden. This is called My Dreadful Body. This is an arc from New Vessel Press that I had requested from them on Instagram, actually, and they were kind enough to send one to me. So I think the cover is just awesome, and it sounds really good. So it says that a young woman's vexed coming of age in a traditional Azerbaijani community in Russia, grappling under the weight of Muslim patriarchal norms and a debilitating neurological condition. The mysterious affliction leaves her unable to control her muscles, plagued by pain and speech disorders, defying diagnosis. Addressing each body part with the scrupulousness of a medical researcher, the narrator explores memories, traditions, and taboos related to her physical self. It says confessional feminist writers, similar to Toni Morrison, and I think it sounds incredible, like a fever dream. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's pretty short too. It's only 127, 26 pages. So nothing crazy. Something that I can just throw in for 1 month or something like that. All right, next up, Independent People by Halldór Laxness. I've heard such good things about this book. An Icelandic epic that kind of just follows this sheep farmer. I don't know, the cover just like pulls me in. Not only the fact that I've heard good things about this book, but that the cover just seems like something that wants you to read it. But as far as like, it does seem a little bit long, as far as the pages go. Like, they look a little bit long, but the text is pretty small on each page. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Annie Proulx says that it's one of the top 10 favorite books of all time for her, and I've heard some people just say that it's it just stays with you. It's one of the best books that they've ever read. So without a doubt, I'm very much looking forward to this. I've heard this name, just never read anything by them. So definitely excited for this. All right, next up I got Auto Portrait by Edouard Lave. Again, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I know this is translated from French by Lauren Stein, and this is supposed to be very, very declarative in the way that it's written. It's no paragraph breaks at all. It's simply him describing himself, hence the name Auto Portrait. From my understanding, it is kind of jarring at first, but over time you kind of fall into this like hypnotic mindset of like, what is the next thing going to be, or how is he going to describe himself? And as he goes through and describes himself, you really just fall into that mindset of like just flowing along with it. Not to mention it's quite short, so it's like 117 pages. So yeah, I do have Suicide by him also. This is published by Dalkey Archive. I have Suicide by him also, and I'm very, very much looking forward to that one. That was the last book that he wrote before he committed suicide. But I wanted to read this one first just because, I don't know, it just seems like I need to read this and then move on to that one, if that makes sense. So that one, again, quite short, so I'm probably going to just throw this in a weekend or something like that. And next up, another author that I desperately need to read more from, Clarice Lispector. This is The Passion According to G.H. I don't know how I haven't read anything by her, anything else by her other than Near to the Wild Heart, which I thought was very good. Ethereal and really kind of, her prose doesn't need any structure to it as far as plot goes. Doesn't need you to be carried along with a purpose. It's the beauty of her writing. It's the ability of her writing to make you kind of float along as if you're suspended, not knowing what's going to come next. And I think that she's one of the writers that deserves all of the praise that she gets simply from reading one work by her, her debut. This is the second book from her, I believe. I do want to kind of go in chronological order as far as her novels go, and then obviously read her short stories. I have her. I have the short stories, the fiction, and the nonfiction collected works. So all from New Directions, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into her stuff, and potentially we'll see 2026 might be the year that I do a more deep dive into Lispector, but we'll see. Last up, I have Olga Tokarczuk, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. This is one of the most anticipated books for me, at least. I've heard it's a good winter read, so I'm looking forward to getting to this at the beginning of 2026. It's probably going to be the first book that I pick up in 2026 as far as a kind of a longer work. It's not that long. It's 300 probably. It feels like 270-ish, 280 pages maybe. But one that's not 100 to 120 pages, one that I can just kind of fly through in a weekend, but one that I want to take my time with. This is going to be probably, again, the first one that I pick up in 2026. But this is one that it's a little more mainstream and more popular, and one that a lot of people have read, or that I've seen a bunch of people talk about. But still, I think it's kind of like a mystery. This Polish village, a woman says like her reputation as a crank and a recluse is only amplified by her not so secret preference for the company of animals over humans. Then a neighbor, Bigfoot, turns up dead. Soon other bodies are discovered in increasingly strange circumstances. As suspicions mount, Janina inserts herself into the investigation, certain that she knows who done it. If only anyone would pay her mind. So I think that is an interesting premise for sure. The title obviously is also very intriguing and makes you kind of wonder where she gets that from. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. So if you want to read along with me, I will most likely be doing a read along for this on Fable. I'm just going to set this as my book club pick for the month of January, I think. We'll see what happens, though. So again, if you are not following me on either Fable or Substack, please make sure you do that. I've been posting my writing on Substack. Some writing that have been posted on Instagram for a while, but that I'm just now getting to posting on Substack. So I'm kind of catching up with getting them on there. But Fable, I've definitely been keeping up with. My reads. I've got things that I've finished recently, and I've been posting some shorter reviews on there, and not as much writing reviews. I've been writing a lot more, but yeah. Again, at shelf.seeker on Fable, and just at shelfseeker on Substack. So if you like this video, please make sure to like it. Comment below, what are you reading at the end of this year, and what do you want to read going into 2026. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all in the next one.